Good day, Jazz. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. No, not bad. Long week?
Been yes, a long week, a hectic week in some respects,
You've
but
been here 3 days.
it's still a long week.
Still a long week.
Yeah.
So obviously with DIFC, with SRTIP, obviously we're off to Sharjah, Dubai in 2 days. They're not bad.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi next week. Outside, obviously, the business side, we're trying to do things, aren't we, for the youth and interact with obviously different demographics, right?
Correct.
With AG Boxing,
Yeah.
different demographic.
Yes,
right,
completely.
In Coventry.
Yeah.
Obviously, in Dubai, you haven't seen obviously the Uzbek side of it directly, but you've seen the interaction here. Obviously, the economies are different as well. What would you say are the one or two key differences in terms of how there's probably societal community cohesion, based on what your views have been?
In terms of
So in the boxing is a good example, right?
Okay.
So with the boxing, obviously we know there's no community centres or there's lack of youth centres, right?
right,
But you've got the adults that come in for the boxing, the
Yeah.
gym and stuff, right? You got the children that come in. Obviously, there's issue with gangs,
yes,
right? So simple as that. That's what AG Boxing is there to do, right? And obviously on the weekends you're doing stuff with Langar Aid, and you're basically feeding the homeless in effect, right?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna have to do that here.
No,
Right?
no, that's definite.
But last time when you were here, remember there was an interest in the boxing side.
Yes,
Right, our friends, Hamiri in Abu Dhabi, he explained, didn't he, how the boxing side is a good thing to have. So you see what I mean? So there's an underlying similarity, but for different reasons.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Well, let's go. We take it back and go back to AG Boxing in Coventry, or any boxing club in Coventry, to be, and predominantly, if we go back 30, 40 years ago, there were youth centres in the UK that catered for kids that are obviously at home and parents be at work. Kids have got something to do, or the young adults have got something to do. They'd go to the local youth centre, all types of activities. Kept them pretty much restrained. Obviously you would always get young adults, as boys are, girls are, on the street corners and
but not to the
causing
same
it.
percentage as
Not here. Okay. So that element of youth centres going, obviously being closed down in the UK, left it to a little bit more of the traditional sporting clubs to keep active children at certain points. So that's number one. You've got keeping the kids quite active off the streets in sports clubs and having a interest in sports. That's obviously changed with now you've got devices where they can sit at home and play devices all the time. So that level of physicality in enjoying sports and being part of a team has sort of dissipated to some extent.
But in terms of the question, I'm saying in terms of boxing, the reason of boxing, you having the boxing AG in Coventry, and now us talking to the locals in the Emiratis in Abu Dhabi, the boxing, actual sport, there was a respect. There's a need for it both. But why do you do it in AG?
Why do I do it in AG?
Yeah.
I've always had a keen interest in boxing myself. Okay, so I've always learnt.
So you keen interest.
Yeah.
So what else? Why else do you do it?
I do it as to keep, like you said, a societal impact on the children that I know that live around my particular boxing gym, and I have seen what the effect is of children that don't actually come into do a boxing club. I've seen them on the streets. Yeah. I see them get involved in
people
crime.
like Glenn's a good example.
Yeah.
Glenn's a young kid. He's now boxing. He's got that discipline.
Yeah, he's got discipline.
He keeps fit and he keeps healthy, right?
Keeps fit, keep healthy. He actually focuses him back on his education, his work. So he's now got a focal point. He knows if he does X amount of work at school, he knows he's got that. He can come to the evening and come into the boxing and release any energy that he's had at school.
So do you recall the conversation with Hamiri last time?
Sorry? Yes.
So what were they wanted to build? What were they saying?
Well, let's take it back. Now, the main difference that I found here was obviously culturally it's different. A lot of the kids will stay at home. They have devices, stay at home. Their main activities are more family based as opposed to what the UK is. Okay, so that's number one. Is there an interest in sports? I don't think there is an interest in physical sports as there is in the UK. Number one, the weather doesn't help in the middle of summer. So as kids will be playing football in the park.
You don't have air conditioning here?
Yes, but not outside in the parks. Okay, so
Good facilities, but anyway,
yeah, I've got plenty. Because are they being used? I don't think they are.
You haven't seen them though.
I haven't seen them. No, so that although I accept that. Is there many boxing clubs? Okay, and who can afford to go to use the boxing clubs? But why don't the parents take them to take them to the boxing clubs? So besides the expats or the migrated population, the only indigenous people, do they take their kids to the boxing or kickboxing?
You don't know.
I don't know, and
Yeah,
that needs research.
No, but so going back to the point of what we spoke about in Abu Dhabi, or what the Emiratis were saying, is that they just want the kids to be able to have a bit of fight. Remember, we explained to them. The good thing is with the school children in the UK, they come, the mothers used to bring them, didn't they?
Yeah,
They come at 4 or 5 o'clock, drop them off, they'd box, they'd be knackered. By the time they go, they'd be asleep by 7, 8 o'clock, right?
Exactly.
So they're going to stay out of trouble. Here, obviously, the opportunities are wider. And so sometimes I think, and look, I've seen it myself. If you look at something like the Mars program, where you got astronauts, that's a dangerous thing to do. But they've got a stream of astronauts coming through. Right. So remember, the country's only 51 years old.
True.
Right. So systems and processes aren't set up. Right. But the reasoning behind why they'd want to have boxing, which I think they will have, the reason why they want to have football, the reason why they want to have all these other sports, is that they just haven't been able to. That's the cameraman. They haven't been able to set these systems up or structures up because, again, you're right. The good thing is there is that family basis. There's the majlis.
Yes,
which,
that is
again,
true.
we
Yeah.
haven't probably sat in one. Once you see that sort of structure, you'll be able to see why there's a young. I think who was saying it? One of our partners was saying it, how they, when they were young, their fathers would take them to the majlis just to see what happens.
Right.
They wouldn't understand the conversation, right? So again. In a more sort of undeveloped society, it's fine. Now this place is emerging. There's different things.
Or emerged.
Huh?
Or emerged.
I suppose, I suppose everywhere's changing, let's say. That's probably the better thing to say. So the reasons for them to do boxing or to do technology, startup culture. Startup culture is not a 9-to-5 job, right?
No.
Right? You've seen SRTIP, loads of people. We were in DIFC, till 10 yesterday?
Yeah, that's correct.
A few people around, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where it will change a lot. So that's what I'm saying. I think over this coming year, and again, this is where your Glens, your Rowans, all these guys. If you brought them out here, Logans, etc. If you brought them out here, and they would say what they do for what reason, right? They would do boxing for different reasons as they would do it here, but still there's a commonality for that. I mean here. I was in Liwa for that dune racing.
Right. Which is a big opportunity for kids that come from Coventry that will never experience
it, right? But you can't say that the physicality behind it is still rough. It's still dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. There's obviously engineering and everything else involved. Some of these machines.
Still a discipline.
There's the discipline involved, right? There's a skill set involved. So I think everything that cultural exchange I think will be interesting. Yeah, I think that's something which I think you need to perhaps explore while you're here, under the guise of AG boxing.
Right.
Yeah, so that'd be something I think for you to work on.
No, I mean next week we're off to Abu Dhabi. We're off to 42.
Right, 42 Abu Dhabi.
So that should be a chance to really look inside and see what Abu Dhabi are doing for the likes of 18 to 24-year-olds in technology and how they're developing, like you said, startups. Where are these young adults are going to take that knowledge that they learned from 42? Are they going to be brave enough to start off their own startups? Yeah.
All right.
Are they going to look for the top end jobs?
So let's have the next week I think actually next week it will be Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Sharjah.
Yes.
Again, so
3 different states.
We'll have a chat next week and see what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.